Once I was introduced to a simple phrase by a man named Joseph McClendon III. The phrase is, as I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. I had always known the key to shaping our destinies through our thoughts, but for a long time I found it difficult to find a consistent way of reminding myself of this. Finding a way that would help me to overcome a life of dabbling and distractions so I could achieve the things I wanted in my life. This phrase got me intrigued. I was determined to uncover this simple but powerful phrase so I could apply the lessons learned to my own life. The last time I had heard a phrase that made such an impact on me was from the late Jim Rohn when he said, "For things to change, you must change." Another simple but powerful phrase I heard at a time when my life was at a crossroad, and it created a shift in how things were to continue. It's amazing how some simple phrases can have a huge impact on us. And for me, this phrase, as I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have, was one of them. It started what was to become a new understanding into my life and why things were the way they were. This simple phrase changed the way I approached my life, and as a result, I started to see results. Results that were both tangible and measurable. I could look back at certain areas of my life and easily notice the progress I had made. As some may say, it was a game changer. And I'm hoping that after you have listened to this recording, you too may use the content to reflect on your own life and take away something positive that may add to it. Our thoughts govern our emotions. Thought and emotion are closely linked, and although they influence one another, it's important to note that thought comes first. Us human beings are constantly thinking, even when we are trying not to. From the moment we wake up to the time we fall asleep, we are thinking millions of different thoughts. Thought is the very essence of who we are. When I say thought, I am referring to the various images, impressions, and words that come into our mind, even though they are not always vocalized. When you look at something, it generates a thought. When you hear something, it generates a thought. When you feel, smell, taste, they all generate a thought of some kind. We experience the world as we know it through our five senses: what we see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. When using any of these senses, it automatically generates a thinking process. Thought is something we can't get away from. Even with practices such as yoga and meditation that look towards silencing the mind and allowing our thoughts just to be, the mind still wanders. Even in those moments of silence, the mind finds a way to think silently. We can never totally get rid of thought, and why would we want to anyway? It is a gift we have been blessed with. The key is not to ignore or silence our thoughts, but to realize its magnitude and seek to consciously direct it in a way that it performs its ultimate duty, which is to serve us. A thought at its best ability is one that is made consciously by the thinker and serves the thinker, rather than one that is made accidentally or as an unconscious reaction to something. All of our thoughts, they serve some kind of purpose, but those made accidentally or simply as a reaction are less likely to support a person in manifesting the things that they want. The thinking process is fundamental in creating the life you want. As you think, so you feel. What about emotions then? How do our thoughts govern how we feel? When you think a certain way, it generates a feeling within. And it is this feeling you experience within that is referred to as emotions. Your emotions or feelings tend to put you in a particular state. And by state, I mean way of being. As humans, to improve our intellectual understanding of this, we have categorized certain feelings we experience into common emotions, such as happy, sad, frustrated, angry, and so on. However, There are many feelings or emotions that cannot be put into words using the English vocabulary or any language for that matter. We just experience and know it. And then there are sub-emotions that stem from others. So just as our feelings are limitless, so too are our emotions. When something speaks to our emotions or feelings, we tend to hold more importance to it. The emotional pull it has seems to get us fired up in one way or the other, sometimes to the extreme opposites, such as crying or laughing. When was the last time you watched a movie that touched you emotionally in some way? Or maybe it was something that you saw or something someone said that brought a tear to your eyes. Have you ever experienced a time when you laughed so much that you ended up falling to the floor in stitches, holding your belly, gasping for air? Most people have experienced one of these scenarios at least once, and they are just a small example of how much impact our emotions have on us. Have you ever noticed how different you behave when your actions are driven by logic alone, in comparison to when they are driven by emotion and feeling? It kind of resembles the difference between doing what you know is right to doing what you feel is right. One is based on what you think you should do, while the other is driven by what you feel you must do. The difference is very subtle, but there is a huge difference within that difference. We experience a higher vibration from our feelings or emotions than we do from our thoughts. Thought can sometimes appeal just to our rational thinking mind, but our emotions, on the other hand, drive us to take action. How we feel influences what we do and how well we do it. In a nutshell, our emotions influence our behavior. How you feel majorly impacts on what you do. It's hard to get yourself motivated to do something when you don't feel like doing it. How difficult is it to exercise when you're really not feeling it? Remember when your friend would invite you to go out and you would say, "I'm not feeling it tonight." How you feel can either spur you to take action or stop you in your tracks. And it's important to note that it's not just any action it can spur you to take. It is action based on what you're thinking about and emotionally connected with. They say do the thing and you'll get the result. And it's very true for the most part. Yes, if I do XY, I will get XY. But there's a problem. We don't always do what we know, and we certainly don't always do it to our best ability. Therefore, we don't always get the results we seek. Instead, what we get out is equivalent to what we put in. This doesn't mean we can't do better or change the outcome altogether, because we certainly can. We just need to think better, have a clear focused picture in our minds of what it is we want to achieve. Then we attach emotion to it by understanding why it is we really want it. Our why takes our thoughts from just being logic rational to also being feeling and textual. As we mentioned before, when you feel something, we place more significance to it. Whatever we hold most important in our lives, our actions would then support. Many people question why they don't have certain things in life. And the truth is, they don't hold it important enough. If they did, they certainly would have it. How comes you have a roof over your head? How comes you have clothes on your back? Or food to eat? I'm not questioning how you got or get these things, but I am saying that you hold them important enough that you have found a way to make it possible. Once you focus your attention on what it is you want to achieve and keep that focus without distractions, then eventually you will do what is necessary to achieve it. That said, the whole process starts with how you think. As I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. Another way to understand this process is to reverse it. Think about what you want. Then think about what you need to do to get it. Then think, how must I feel for me to want to do what I need to do to achieve what it is I want? Must I feel motivated, excited, happy, grateful? What emotion must I feel that will benefit me to get this thing? Then finally ask yourself, how must I think to support that emotion? How must I think to support how I must feel? What thoughts will put me in that state of motivation, excitement, happiness, or any of the emotions that I think I will benefit from? Sometimes it helps to reverse the process and fill out the missing links to increase our understanding. But remember, guys, as you think, so you feel. As you feel, so you do. As you do, so you have. It all generates from our thinking process. Manage your thoughts and you will manage your life.